Welcome back to Buddy's Mood Crypto. Today we're diving into a technical analysis video of Polymesh, POLYX, formerly known as PolyMat, straight from our live show on February 4th, 2025. We're breaking down key levels, trends, and what's next for PolyX. But before we get started, we need your help. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and right now we're at 654. Every subscriber, like, share, and comment helps us grow and keeps this content coming. Alright, enough of that. Let's get into this video. Next we got PolyX. Used to be known PolyMat. It's going to be Polymesh. PolyX.
All right, that's one towards the bottom.
Yeah, you should have that still, I'm sure. PolyX.
All right, got it. Polymesh.
All right, perfect. All right, so we're going to be doing some live technical analysis on PolyX, Polymesh, used to be known as PolyMat. Let me hand it over to Crypto Poppy.
All right, Polymesh paired with the weekly time frame. Oh my goodness. Polymesh, the weekly time frame. Data is coming from crypto.com. Man, see, and I can't even lie. It's not even fun doing technical analysis in a freaking bear market. Look at this.
You mean boom market?
No, this is, I guess, with bearish movement, right? Because everything's just dumping to the downside. Not even fun doing technical analysis on these. So, Polymesh, you could see here we have a trend line over top, which was drawn November 29th, 2021. Second spot was March 18th, 2024. Then we have a trend line to the downside. First touch point was June 21st, 2021. Second touch point, May 9th, 2022. And both of those are just extended out to the right. And you could see here, the overhead one was acting as resistance. The bottom one was acting as slight resistance as well, slight support at times. Wicked above it, came back below it, retested it, and we're currently dumping to the downside. So current price, we need to hold, which we've already broke our previous lows to the downside. And it looks like our other lows from the past two, we're currently sitting on those. We wicked to them and then pump back up slightly. But it's tough to say. Polymesh, we could potentially come up, retest that trend line again before melting to the bottom even more. But I'm just worried if these lows don't hold up here, we have to go back to the 2020s, 2019s for Polymesh price to get some levels of resistance, of support to where we're potentially going to land. So a little bit of downside for Polymesh that needs to hold before we're melting to some crazy lows. So from current price to our previous lows, this is where I'm looking at to the left here. We have about 43% to the downside. That was more than I thought it was. Okay. But if those levels don't hold, we have these levels here, and that's 92% movement to the downside. So when I say Polymesh needs to hold strong, Polymesh needs to hold strong. Polymesh needs to start moving up to the upside, getting some strong candle body closures to the upside, and just getting bullish movement into Polyswarm. So for upside potential, roughly from current price to the purple trend line is about 70%, to our green horizontal ray, which are our previous highs, 129%. But most importantly, we need to come up and retest that overhead trend line that was resistance in the past, which is about 271% away. And then our blue horizontal ray, which is 285% movement from current price to the upside. So not much analysis to do on Polymesh, just hoping it doesn't break those previous lows. We have about 45% leeway, but if that gives, we're about 92% to the downside. So things are looking tough for Polymesh, but you know, we just need some movement to the upside back in the market.
A lot of things are looking bearish right now, right? It's It's a scary time, but this is the time we hold, guys. Okay, we've been through this already. All right, we've been through this already. Hopefully, it doesn't keep going to the downside, and we get some up movement. We just gotta wait now. There's nothing else we could do.